Hello everyone, today we're going to do a devotion. Since the last few videos have been kind of off topic and I really want to get back to, Bible studies, devotions, things like that. So I just randomly picked a book that I thought was inspiring to me, and I have not read this beforehand, so I'm reading it with you. This is Life as a Vapor, John Piper. He is a pastor. This is 31 meditations for your faith, so it just has numbered 1 through 31, so you can use it any month that you want. It says John Piper is a pastor of preaching at Bethlehem Baptist Church in Minneapolis. He's the author of Desiring God, Pierced by the Word, The Dangerous Duty of Delight, Future Grace, and The Pleasure of God. He's pretty well known. I mean, I've known about him for a while. I don't think I've read any of these books though. He received his doctorate in theology from the University of Munich and taught biblical studies for 6 years at Bethel College before becoming a pastor. He and his wife, Noelle, have 4 sons and 1 daughter. So, number 4 for October 4th is My Life is a Vapor. My life is a vapor. Okay. A meditation on James 4:13 through 16. Come now, you who say, today or tomorrow we will go into such and such a town and spend a year there and trade and make a profit. Yet you do not know what tomorrow will bring. What is your life? For you are a mist that appears for a little time and then vanishes. Instead, you ought to say, if the Lord wills, we will live and do this or that. As it is, you boast in your arrogance. All such boasting is evil. So that's just the scripture, James 4:13 through 16. And then here's the devotion. When it comes to how we think and talk about our business plans, our mindset and our mouth matter. According to Jesus' brother James, the person who says, tomorrow we will go to Denver and do business is arrogant. He does not comprehend in his pride that his life is like a vapor and that God, not he, will decide if he lives and goes to Denver or gets out of bed tomorrow. I can imagine some American pragmatists saying, what practical difference would it make in my business planning whether I believe my life is a vapor? Do I stop planning because my life may be short or uncertain? I think James would say, no, you don't stop planning. You don't drop out of society. You don't become a hermit, waiting for your little vapor of life to disappear. So what is the point? The point is that for James and for God, it matters whether a true view of life informs and shapes the way you think and how you speak about your plans. Your mindset matters. How you talk about your plans matters. Ponder this. Believing that your life is a vapor may make no practical bottom line difference in whether you plan to do business in a place for 1 month or 1 year or 10 years. But in James' mind, and he speaks for God, it makes a difference how you think about it and talk about it. Come now, you say, saying the wrong thing about your plans matters. Why? Why does it matter? Because God created us not just to do things and go places with our bodies, but to have certain attitudes and convictions and verbal descriptions that reflect a true view of life and God. God means for the truth about himself and about life to be known and felt and spoken as part of our reason for being. You weren't just created to go to Denver and do business. You were created to go to Denver with thoughts and attitudes and words that reflect a right view of God. So James says in verse 14, in all your planning, keep in your mind and express with your lips this truth. You are a vapor that appears for a little while and then vanishes away. That is, keep in mind that you have no firm substance on this earth. You are as fragile as a mist. Keep in mind that you have no durability on this earth, for you appear for a little while, just a little while. Your time is short, and keep in mind that you will disappear. You will be gone, and life will go on without you. It matters, he says, that you keep this view of life in mind. Then verse 15 tells us the true view of God that we should have in our minds and in our mouths as we imagine our future, as we plot our investments and make our plans. Verse 13 began, "Come now, you who say, today or tomorrow we will go into such and such a town and spend a year there and make a profit." Now he tells us what's wrong with that way of talking. He says in verse 15, "Instead, you ought to say, if the Lord wills, we will live and also do this or that." In other words, if it not only matters that you have a right view of life when you make your plans, because you are like a vapor, but it also matters that you have a right view of God as you make your plans. And it matters that you give expression of this true view of God. You ought to say, if the Lord wills, we will live and also do this or that. So what is the right view of God that he teaches us to have in verse 15? He tells us two very important things about God. One is contained in the words, "If the Lord wills, we will live." And the other is contained in the words, "If the Lord wills, we will do this or that." How would you state the truth about God contained in each of these two sentences? I will leave it for you to answer. But don't miss the obvious. Scripture puts a premium on how we think and how we talk. This is not surprising. Above all the animals, humans are created in the image of God with thoughts and language beyond all comparison. This gift is not gratuitous. It is meant to make the glory of God known. If he wills, we live. If he wills, we act. We have minds and tongues to speak this truly for all the world to hear. So, my life as a vapor means, we're on this earth for a short period of time, and our days are numbered, and only God knows when our time is up. And like I'm dealing right now with my mom, her time is almost up, and we've been told that, and it's something that we should all prepare for. And I am thankful that we do have this time that we know, and we're able to talk to her, and it's kind of like we were granted extra time where it's not just a surprise or a shock. But our lives are a vapor, and so what are we going to do with that vapor while we're here? What are we going to do with our lives while we're here? I keep telling this to my kids. You're here for a reason. God put you here on this earth. You have a purpose, and it is, an awesome thing to look for your purpose in life, and to know that what you're doing, what you're putting your time into, what you're putting your life into, is what God ordained for you before the beginning of time. And so, and the other thing it's saying is that God wills it, so we can't just take for granted the next day. We're only here tomorrow if God wills it. And we have to recognize that and give God homage, and realize that he is the life giver, and give him praise and honor for that. So I'm trying to keep this short today, and just a little word of encouragement for you. And I will be trying to do more devotions on a more regular basis, because I know a lot of people like those and like that, and just need a little word, from day to day. So you guys take care, and I'll see you in the next video.